I would like to tell the story of 20 years ago from the other side, Nathan. I used to work for the Foreign Ministry of Israel. I was assigned to be a consul for public affairs at our consulate, largest consulate of Israel in New York. And before coming to New York, I knew that one of my issues was to be a speakers bureau for Israeli dignitaries who came over to the area, every day one, by the way. And the people like Natan used to come, and we were supposed to organize some speaking engagements for them. And right after I came, I was told, by the way, by my predecessor, don't worry, if you send somebody to Rutgers, it's a home run. You're going to have 400, 500 people who are going to cheer up to this, any minister that you bring. So I was very new. I took the minister over, and we were accompanied by a Hillel person. I told the minister, don't worry, count on me. Ever since, I don't tell any minister to count on me. We came into the room. The room was not 400, but it was full. It was full of 50 people. And the whole way back to the hotel in New York, I didn't know what to say. I said, look, perhaps I was mistaken. And I picked up the phone the next day to the person of Hillel and asked how come. He said, I don't understand why you are surprised. First of all, never trust your predecessors. But this is the picture. Jews shy away of anything that has to do with Israel. Started at 73 and then 82. So don't count on any more than 50. There is no Jewish energy in the sense that you cannot generate lots of support for Israel. Let's get some fast forward. 3 years ago, I took some people from the Prime Minister's office, that time it worked, to impress them with what we do together with the Jewish community in Boston on campuses. And we took the people from the Prime Minister's office to Taft University. And we were supposed to meet at the Hillel headquarters with about, I think, 80 people who are alumni of Birthright. And they were late, and we were starting to get upset, tensed, etc. After 10 minutes they arrived, they apologized. They were coming from a demonstration at the UN against Ahmadinejad after riding the whole night over there and coming back the next day. And they said ever since Birthright started to send close to 50% of the campus Jewish students, the picture here has changed. So that happened 3 years ago. Luckily, it was one of the best universities. We still have to do a lot, but ever since, we have been receiving much, much more funding from the Israeli government. So what happened ever since? I would like you to see the chart. The numbers over here are not a mathematical problem. Okay, don't be afraid. These are the Jewish solutions. Okay, so 330,000 is the number of young Jews who came over to Israel from 62 countries. Okay? Before we started, out of a cohort age group of 100,000 Jews around the world outside of the state of Israel, only 2,000 used to come to Israel every year. This year alone, we bring 44,000 young Jews to Israel, 44, as compared to 2,000. In addition to this 330,000, there were 65,000 Israelis. Most of them belong to the elite units of the IDF. And these are the numbers, but what are the qualitative impacts of these numbers? First of all, 46 is the number of the difference between those who went on Birthright and those who did not go because we did not have enough funds. And this number represents the difference in intermarriage rate. Intermarriage rate. Yes, Taglit Birthright Israel manages to decrease the number of intermarriage rate by 46%. Our researcher, Professor Len Sachs, is here. I'm very careful, Len, with the numbers, so tell me if I'm wrong. 42% is the number of attachment to the state of Israel between those who registered and went on Birthright Israel and those who registered and did not go because we did not have enough funds. Okay? And that had huge impact. 100,000 Jews, 100,000 extended or came again, extended the trip or came again after the first ever educational trip to Israel. This is the number. And there is another number that I cannot hold myself. This is number that of our investment in the Israeli economy until today, close to $1 billion. So this is what happened between the 20 years ago episode that I have that nobody showed up to see an Israeli minister and the fact that 80 people took 2 days off of their studies in Taft University to go to demonstrate against Ahmadinejad. And I would like to sum up this part of what I'm supposed to say at the beginning by a quote of an American participant who sent it to an Israeli peer saying, "Thank you for wearing civilian clothes, because if you wore uniforms, I would have been intimidated and would have never spoken with you. But also, thank you for wearing uniforms during the last day, because it sums up all that we have learned about you during the trip." This was written by Jonathan, USA. Now please multiply it by 330,000 participants, and unfortunately with 200-300 others who could have gone to Israel, but unfortunately we did not have funds to send them over, and we had to apologize. Thank you.